So we've been invited to our neighbor's house and I'm going to make my favorite cake. This is a really easy almond flour cake and one of my patients gave it to me years ago. Her name was Patty and I don't know where she got it and I've tweaked it through the years, but it's really a tasty cake and super easy to make, low carb. And I'm going to start with a stick of butter and half a container of cream cheese. So that's about 4 ounces of cream cheese and half a cup of monk fruit. And I'm going to cream these together, and I'm not going to force you to watch me do that. So we'll be turning this on and off. Next, I'm going to mix in half a cup of coconut flour and half a cup of almond flour, and I've got another cup of almond flour that I'll mix in after I'm done with that. I'm not going to make you watch. See, it's a cookie crumb kind of a texture at this point. And next I'm going to beat in 8 eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. And no, you still don't have to watch. The final cup of almond flour, I will just use my whisk. And what I'm looking for is a really smooth batter before I add my final cup. So those eggs are really well incorporated. I also am going to add half a teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. So let me add those first. And then I'm going to slowly add in my almond flour. Now this is a ketogenic cake. It's that high in fat and that low in carbohydrates. So this is really something that I could recommend to anybody on a ketogenic diet, on a paleo diet, on, well, not necessarily on a Mediterranean diet, but I think anybody could eat this cake unless they had like super high cholesterol. 8 eggs would probably be a little over the top for them. Okay. I'm just going to add the rest of it. There we go. Looks like I didn't get all my salt. And I don't always add salt to this, but this was unsalted butter. I usually use butter that has salt in it. I bought that by mistake. I really don't like unsalted butter unless it's like for a specific recipe. This is a beautiful batter. And the eggs make it such a pretty color. There we go. Get out any last lumps. Now I like to do this as a bundt cake. You could make cupcakes out of it. You could make, this is enough for a 2-layer cake, so it is up to you what you do with it. I just think it's pretty as a bundt cake. I like to top it with berries or seasonal fruit. So I have prepared my bundt tin. And this has been greased with ghee and then floured with the coconut flour. I think I'm going to make a mango topping for this one because I happen to have a beautiful ripe mango. There we go. It's that easy. You really don't ever need to buy a box mix. I'm just not a fan of box mixes, not only because of the preservatives, But also, they just tend to add, first of all, you're not going to find one that doesn't have sugar in it. And this is gluten-free, so try to find gluten-free and sugar-free. That's a tough call to make. So this is a really healthy cake. Okay, look how pretty. Now this is going to go in the oven for about a half hour at 350 degrees, and I'll be back to show you how it looks. While the cake is in the oven, I chopped up a mango and it came out to a little over a cup. I'm going to put that in this pot. And to that, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of raisins because I think that'll be tasty. And I'm going to cook this for, I think, about 10 minutes, but when I come back, I'll tell you how long I cooked it. And it'll be on a low flame. Okay, so I cooked the mango for about 15 minutes, and I wound up adding a couple tablespoons of water because the raisins are drier than I expected them to be, and they're going to plump up overnight because this is going to sit in the refrigerator and cool. And I also thought I want to add just a sprinkle of cardamom to really make it pop. Cardamom is such an exotic spice. And the cake came out of the oven. It is beautiful, and I will set all this up tomorrow and you'll get to see it all put together. Pleased to report the cake was a hit. And that's really amazing because there was a catastrophe. After I was done filming, I couldn't get it out of the pan. And what I wound up, since it was stuck in the pan, it wound up overcooking and then drying out. And so what I wound up doing was I made a nice custard with a pureed banana. I think I used about a cup of flax milk, some tapioca flour or starch, and what else was in it? A little bit of vanilla. And I injected it into the cake. So you can see there's this little spot there that is banana flavored. And along with the mango and the raisin, I also topped it with the banana custard. And this is all that's left out of the whole bundt cake because everybody liked it. So you can see how nice it cuts. Super easy cake, and you can change the flavor. You don't have to do it as a vanilla cake. You could do it as a lemon cake. Like the barking dogs? Me too. So good, and ordinarily really moist, but if you ever have a problem with a dried out cake, that's a easy solution. But as I say, you can change the flavor. Really easy, really delicious, low carb, and give it a try and enjoy.